everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are at. This is Barre Sculpt. My name is Amanda. For today's class, you will need a small ball. I recommend smaller versus a larger Pilates-like ball as such, because we'll be placing this ball between our thighs. We'll be really placing it underneath our heels, so you want something smaller. Of course, you can always do something larger, but the smaller the ball, the easier it is to keep that ball in place. Otherwise, you're going to be slanted off on the side and a little less stable to hold on to that ball. You'll need a set of light weights. Of course, the weights can always be optional. You can always set them off to the side at any point or do just your body weight. And you'll need a sturdy surface, something like a chair, maybe a couch ledge, a bar if you have it. Mine's just not placed in a great position for the camera to actually use that during class and to transition between left and right sides. I've seen people use countertops, even ovens. Just we're not going to do anything where we're pulling it off of the stove, so you're just pressing into it and holding it as balance. You also have an option to use a set of light ankle weights throughout the entire duration of the class. You can also put these on your wrist if you like, instead of holding an actual weight. These are just 1 pound. So you can, again, keep those on for the entire class or set them off to the side. If you don't have a ball, a small ball, you can use a pillow. You can use a block. Now, given the blocks not have a lot of give on your heel when you're pressing your foot into the block. So keep that in mind if you are using a block. There's just not a lot of give there. The pillow will give you a little bit more support and more flexibility to lessen that intensity of coming up high on your tippy toes. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our warm-up here. We're going to bring the feet hip-width apart and parallel. Shoulders stacked directly over your hips. If you're tracking your workout, go ahead and set your devices. I always forget. We're going to start by drawing the knee up and over, just alternating. Staying in a standing position, opening up that hip flexor, drawing it up and over. Core remains engaged. Keep it going, up and over. That's it. Keep it going. Let's do one more on each side. From here, we're going to come down to a low, wide squat. Your feet are slightly wider than your hips. Arms are going to come out to a T. We're just going to bend and extend into your knees. Chest stays lifted, so your shoulders remain directly stacked over your hips. Your knees are tracking out over your toes. So what I mean by that, when you bend into your knees aren't coming forward. They're staying nice and wide, allowing your hips to open up and then rising back up. Bend and extend. Let's do 3 more. On the next one, hold the knees slightly bent. From here, we're going to reach the right hand down towards the left foot. Rise back up, tee out the arms. Left hand down towards the right foot. Tee out the arms, right hand to left foot. Tee out the arms, left hand to right foot. So you're reaching down, opposite hand towards opposite foot. Let's do it 2 more times on each side. Rise back up. All right, 1 more on each side. From here, hold your body upright so your shoulders stacked over your hips. Give me tiny circles here, palms are facing down. Your chest is lifted, your knees are bent. And then reverse that circle, tiny circles, opposite direction. All right, from here, we're going to just cross the right over left and open, left over right and open. So you're really reaching that arm over towards the opposite hand and then coming back out to that T. 1 more on each side. All right, come on down to a runner's lunge. Release your right knee from the floor, untuck your right toes. We're going to press into that left knee, allowing your right hip to open up, chin and chest stays lifted. Hold it here on the exhale. And then draw your hips back, hips towards your heels, straighten that left leg. Maybe point, flex, circle out that left ankle. All right, hold the left toes flexed, hinge forward, framing your left foot, holding here and breathing. On your next exhale, maybe hinging further, closer towards the crown of your head, towards your toes, holding and breathing. Gently rise up on your next inhale. Release your left knee to meet the right. Take a big step forward with your right foot, pressing into your right knee, allowing your left hip to open up. Your left foot is untucked. Your right foot is flat on the floor. Chin and chest is lifted here. All right, on your next exhale, we're going to draw the hips back. Straighten that front left leg. Maybe point, flex, circle out that right ankle. Anything that feels good to you in your right ankle today. On the next breath, hold your right toes flexed up towards the ceiling. Heel press into the ground. Frame your right foot. Maybe folding forward, bringing your nose towards your knee, heart towards your thigh. Noticing that stretch in the back side of your entire right leg. And then gently come on up to standing. Roll your shoulders back. Roll them forward. All right, let's get started with some fun here. All right, let me get our timer set up so we're nice and good to go. Don't want to hear it. Okay, so we're going to grab the ball and we're also going to grab those weights. If you're using those ankle weights, if you're using those weights on your wrist, go ahead and put them on now. And we're going to grab that ball. All right, we're going to have the ball on the floor, chair to your left side, ball under your left heel. So you're going to have just a little bit of space between that ball and that chair, just so you can stand next to it. And your right heel is going to be lifted, but not pressing into the ball. So your left heel is pressed into the ball. From here, we have our palms facing up. So if you would like, you can place your left hand on that bar for more stability. You can also release your hands down by your side. We're going to pulse down, so your feet are in that first position, plie, pulse down, and lift up. You're doing a bicep curl to just a 90-degree bend, so your palms are fully extended, and you're coming up to that 90-degree bend, and then releasing. Bend, and release. Bend, and release. Chest is lifted here. Keep it going. Bend, and release. You're just bringing your elbows to that 90-degree bend and then extending them all the way down towards your hips. As you bend your elbows, you're bending deeper into your knees. That left heel is lifted using the ball to support. Your right heel is also lifted, not using that ball. Keep it going. That's it. Just lift and lower, lift and lower. Give me 2 more. All right, hold the bend in the knees. Hold the elbows bent here at your sides. We're going to set the right foot forward. Open the arms. Draw them out. Open the arms. So you set the right foot forward. Your arms are opening. So you're rotating those arms out to the side, back in front. Out to the side, back in front. It can be a 30-degree rotation, a 45-degree rotation, or a 90-degree rotation directly out from your rib cage. Whatever that degree is, you're rotating your arms out as you step your right foot forward, and you're rotating your arms back in front. Palms remain facing up in that half bicep curl position as you step your right leg back. Keeping it going, step it forward, open, step it back, close. That's it. Slow and controlled here. Keep it going. Open and close. All right, we're going to hold that left foot forward, From here, your elbows are in towards your rib cage. Palms are facing up. From here, we're going to pulse the hips, extend the arms out to a T, draw everything in. Pulse, extend, draw it in. Now you should feel it in that left quad. That's it. As you bend deeper into your knees, coming into that fourth position, your toes are slightly turned outwards. Heels in, toes out. As you bend into that left knee, you are firing up the inner and outer thighs. Extend the arms out to a T, draw them back in. Core is engaged. That's it. Keep it going. Extend, draw it back in. All right, from here, step your right foot back to meet the left. From here, we're going to hold the arms out to a T. We have tiny circles. Step the right foot back, coming into that fourth. Step it in together, step it back, draw it together, step it back, draw it together. Now you can always just do the right arm. When we go to work that left side, meaning your right foot's on that ball, we're going to do the exact same hand motions. So you're going to be very familiar with these moves. Tiny circles. Your palms are facing up the entire time. So the right foot back and forward. Drop back and forward. Just a few more. So you're drawing that right foot back behind the left, and you're drawing that right foot in line with the left. Keep it going. Bend into those knees a little bit more. Keep that left heel pressed into that ball. On the next one, hold the knees bent. Hold that right leg back. From here, keep the arms out to a T. We're going to bring the knees in and open. Draw them in, opening them wider than when you started. So if this is where you started, you want to really press those knees open and draw them in towards one another. They do not have to completely close. You don't have to open the knees completely wide. But you're making more of that diamond shaped and then close, making that diamond shaped and close. You can always keep your left hand to that ledge, and you can have a full extension, full curl, bringing your palm facing down to the top of your shoulder. Open and close. That's it. Keep it going. All right, from here, draw your right heel back in line with your left. Bring your palms to your shoulders. We're going to set that right leg out. So you press the arms up, draw it in, step it out, press, release and lower. Keep it going. Slow and controlled here. Keep it going. Stepping that right leg out. You're maintaining the bend in both of your knees. Whether you step it out, you're bending further into your knees, or you're stepping that heel in, you're still bending the knees. Arms press up high overhead as you step that right leg out. Draw it back in. Step it out. Draw it back in. Few more. All right. Hold the knees wide. So you're in this wide position. Your feet are slightly wider than your hips. From here, arms remain overhead. We're going to pulse down, arms lower, and lift. Pulse lower, and lift. If at any time you can lower that right heel if you'd like, keeping that left heel lifted, or you can challenge yourself by keeping both heels lifted. Of course, that left foot's on that ball. So it's challenging your stability. You can place that left hand on the ledge or that chair, whether you have that right heel lifted or lowered. Lift up, bend forward, up and straighten. Keep it going. That's it. You got it. Firing up those shoulders. Firing up those inner and outer thighs one more time. All right, on the next one, straighten the legs. Draw that right heel in. So now, make room on that ball, pillow, block for your right foot. Bringing both heels in towards the ball, on the ball. Bend slightly into your knees. Palms are face up. Now we have a full bicep curl. So we're just starting back where we started, except both heels are on the ball. And we're doing a full bicep curl. Full extend, full bend. We're going to switch over and bring our right side to that bar or that ledge. So I'll move my chair over. Hopefully you just have to turn your body around. Keep it going. 2 more. Imagine you're sliding down a wall behind you. All right, come on up. Shake it out from here. Go ahead and bring that chair or that ledge over to the right side. Bring that ball with you. Too far. Make sure you have some space between yourself and that ledge. And just bring this here. Make sure you've got some space there. Again, between yourself and that ledge, you have your right heel on the ball. Weight is in both of your hands, one weight in each hand. Your right side is to the bar. Palms are facing up. Your left heel is on that imaginary ball. Palms facing up. We're going to bend with a 90-degree curl. Palms facing up. So same options here. You can lower that left heel, noticing that your hips might be slightly off. You want to correct it by bending deeper into that right knee. If your left heel is lowered, bend and lift. Now we're going to fire up that left leg because that right leg is resting on that ball. Half curl and extend. Half curl and extend. Keep it going. All right, hold. Hold that half curl. Of course, I can't get the placement of my heel just right so the ball's not rolling from side to side. Half curl hold from here, so the left foot forward, open the arms, draw it back, open the arms, draw it back. So you're stepping forward to that 4th position. Now you can always place your hand on that bar, that ledge. You want to rotate that arm open. Bring it back to there, opening it as if it's a door. Hinge, keeping your elbow tucked in towards your body, in towards your ribcage. Draw it forward and then open. Keep it going. Open as you step the left foot forward. Closing your arms back to where you started, back to that 4th position, making that 11 shape with your forearms as you step your left leg back. Keep it going. All right, the next one, hold the left foot forward, hold the arms out to a T. We're gonna pulse and lift, just pulse and lift, arms out to a T. So same options here, you can keep your right hand to that bar, that ledge. You can lower that left heel if you'd like. Notice the difference if you lower that heel. You're gonna feel that work in your back leg. So if you had that front heel lifted the whole entire last time with your right foot forward, keep that left heel lifted. You want to balance out that work, keeping everything symmetrical. We are firing up those inner and outer thighs here. Focusing on your shoulders and your biceps. Extend, pull it in. Imagine you're trying to tuck your elbow behind you as you draw your elbow in. You're serving someone out to the left side as you extend your arm out to a T. Maybe a broken T if you're just using one arm. That's it. Keep it going. All right. We're going to the left foot back to meet the right. From here, arms are out to a T. We have tiny circles. Step it back. Bring it forward. Step it back. Bring it forward. Yes, you can. You've got it. Same options here. Maybe setting that right hand down on the bar. Letting your focus be in that left leg. Step it back. And forward, step it back and forward. Now when I say forward, I mean in line with your right hip. Not all the way back up here. You're just stepping in line and then bringing it back. Draw it in line and then bring it back. Tiny circles. Keep it going. That's it. Few more. On the next one, I want you to hold that left leg back. Bring your arms out to that T. From here, we're going to close and open, close and open. So if this was your starting position, this is perfect. You want to open your knees wider when you come back after that close and open. Imagine your knees like a clamshell and your toes are turned out, so it's allowing you to open up your knees slightly more. Open and close, open and close. Your knees don't have to completely touch. You don't have to close that gap between your thighs, but you want to keep that diamond shaped. Draw your knees towards one another. They're not touching because that left leg is staggered back, remember? And then opening further. Keep it going. That's it. All right, hold the knees wide. Draw your left foot back in to meet the right. Draw your arms up overhead. Press up, step out, press in, lower. Press up, step out, press in, lower. Try to keep that left heel lifted. I know it's a doozy, especially after just working that right side. Having your left heel on the ball. Keep it going. Press up, draw it down. Press up, draw it down. You've got it. Just a few more. That's it. Give me 3 more. And 2. On the next one, we're going to hold it in that wide second position. So your feet are wider than your hips. Your toes are turned out. Your knees are tracking out over your toes. We're going to pulse down, arms forward, and lift. Pulse, lower, lift, rise. Keep it going. You're moving here with control. Maybe step your left leg out slightly more. Maybe bring your right hand to that ledge if you'd like a little additional support. You've got it. Keep it going. Firing up those shoulders. Firing up those inner and outer thighs just a little bit more. We're still going to use that ball, but we're going to transition where it's placed. You've got one more move after this. Can you guess what it is? It's how we ended the last 7 moves with the ball in your left heel. That's it. 2 more. 1 more. Very nice. All right. Let's make some room. Place both heels on that ball. All right. Your knees are slightly bent. Your palms are facing up. From here, I want you to do a full bicep curl with a plie pulse. Full curl and pulse. Palms come facing in towards your shoulders. Your shoulders are stacked directly over your hips. So no weebles and wobbles. Don't hinge forward. Don't hinge back. You don't want to lose your balance. You want to keep your shoulders stacked directly over your hips. Keep your hips slightly tucked under by drawing your navel into your spine and squeezing your glutes. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Even when you bend them, you're still squeezing them together versus releasing them. You want to squeeze them together. From there, keep it going. Imagining that you're sliding down a wall behind you. Keep it going. That's it. Give me 3 more. And 2. Last one. All right, release it down. Shimmy it out. Maybe grab a sip of water. All right. So all those little tiny movements, we weren't lifting and lowering your leg, but your leg should be fired up now. It's also a great calf work. All right, we're gonna grab that ball. You can set the weights off to the side, or you can simply hold them. We're going to bring your right foot forward, your left foot back. So your right heel is touching your left toes. So you're going to come into that fourth position, a closed fourth position. You're going to bend your knees and you're going to bring that ball between your thighs. From this position with your right foot forward, left foot back, bring your hands to your hips. We're going to squeeze, squeeze, pulse, pulse. Squeeze, squeeze, pulse, pulse. So same options here. You can rise up on your tippy toes if you like. Avoid hinging forward. You want to draw your navel deep into your spine. Tuck your hips under. No booty sticking out. Keep your hips nice and tight. Shoulders stacked directly over your hips. Squeeze, squeeze, pulse, pulse. So imagining that you're sliding behind down a wall, and your shoulders and your hips are gliding down that wall. Not a single thing is leaving that wall. The goal here is to keep your thighs together even as you pulse. So as you pulse down, you're more inclined to make that larger diamond shaped, but you want to hold it. Keep it going. All right, we're going to alternate here. Squeeze right, pulse, pulse, squeeze left, squeeze right, pulse, pulse, squeeze. Let's add a pulse, pulse in between each one. Squeeze right, release, pulse, pulse, squeeze left, release, pulse. So you're alternating, squeezing the left leg in and releasing, pulse, pulse, squeeze that left leg in, release, pulse, pulse. It's a teeny tiny movement, especially if you're using this ball. But if you're using this ball, it allows you to really squeeze your thighs in together. So right, release, pulse, pulse, left, release, pulse, pulse. One more on each side. All right, from here, hold the hips low. We're going to lift the right heel and lower, lift the left heel and lower. You're keeping that ball just where it's at and lower. You can always keep your right hand to that bar, that ledge, lift and lower, lift and lower. You're keeping that ball just where it's at. If you want to challenge yourself, bring that ball closer towards your knees, allowing you to limit your range of motion. That's it. Keep it going. Just a few more here. I know it burns. To increase that sensation, lower that ball towards your knees. You can also keep that ball up closer towards your thighs. It's naturally going to stay closer if it's up on your thighs. All right, shake it out. From here, keep the ball between your thighs. Bring your feet hip width apart and parallel. From here, grab those weights. Palms are facing down. We're going to squat with a raise. So you're coming into a chair position. So we're not just squatting and sticking our butts back. You want to squat down and keep your shoulders stacked over your hips and rise. Squat lower and rise. Making your body as if it was a chair. Squat and rise. Notice the difference. We're not just sticking our butts back and coming into a squat. You're coming more into a chair, keeping your upper body upright. You can't keep your shoulders stacked over your hips in here. You can try, but you're going to slightly hinge forward just a little bit and then rise up. Keep your hips tucked under. Maybe lift your toes as you come into that chair position. All right, hold the knees bent. Hold it here in that chair. Hold your arms out in front. Squeeze to open, release to draw it forward. Squeeze to open, release to draw it forward. Keep it going. You can probably guess what we're going to do next. We're going to come back to that fourth position with your left foot forward this time. Remember the options of the placement of the ball, closer up on your thighs or closer down towards your knees. As you squeeze the ball right now, you're opening your arms. Palms are facing down. Keep it going. Open and close. Your feet are grounded. You're holding it in that chair position. Maybe lift your toes. Squeeze open. Release. One more. All right, set those weights down. We're back to completely lower body. Adjust that ball if you need to. Bring that left heel in front. Your right foot is back. From here, you can keep your left or right hand. I'm just going to keep my right hand just because I don't feel like changing the placement of my chair. All right, hands to your hips or one hand to a chair or a ledge. Squeeze, squeeze, pulse, pulse. Squeeze, squeeze, pulse, pulse. So, I'm not hinging forward. Squeeze, squeeze, pulse, pulse. I'm keeping my body upright. Squeeze, squeeze, pulse, pulse. Squeeze, squeeze, pulse, pulse. That ball is imaginary when I turn to my side. So, squeeze, squeeze, pulse, pulse. Squeeze your thighs together. Squeeze, pulse, pulse. Keep it going. We're going to alternate squeezing left, adding 2 pulses, and then squeezing right. So you are isolating those muscles. All right, hold it low. Squeeze left, release, pulse, pulse, squeeze right, release, pulse, pulse, squeeze left, release, pulse, pulse. So in the beginning, you're probably more inclined to squeeze both of your thighs. That's what we just did. But here, you want to isolate it. You want to, this leg is completely still. Notice I'm squeezing this side, releasing, pulse, pulse. My shoulders still stacked over my hips. Now this leg is frozen. I'm going to squeeze my left leg. Squeeze, release, pulse, pulse. This one's frozen. Squeeze, release, pulse, pulse. Keeping that going, keeping that momentum. Squeeze on one side, release, 2 pulses, squeeze on the opposite side. That's it. All right, finish up where you're at, doing left and right. Once you get there, we're going to alternate, lifting left heel and lowering, lifting that right heel and lowering. Lift, lower, lift, and lower. Notice, I'm not rocking forwards and backwards. So if you want to watch yourself in the mirror, you can place yourself so that you're facing any direction. Your side body is in that mirror. You want to lift the front heel and lower, lift the back heel and lower. I'm not leaning forward, leaning back, leaning forward. You're not rocking upper body. Your body's completely still. It's lift and lower, lift and lower. I'm also not popping up with my heel lifts. My shoulders and my hips are staying still. So what you're doing is you're bending deeper into that knee versus coming up on your tippy toes and keeping your legs more straight. Lift and lower. All right, give me one more of each. All right, grab that ball. We are not done yet, but I am going to push this over onto the side. We're going to come onto the floor because the fun continues. All right, we're going to come onto the floor. We're going to make our way to a tabletop position. Now, this ball is our best friend. We're going to place that ball under our left hand. Right hand's flat on the floor, so you're in a tabletop position. If this ball becomes too distracting, I want you to set it off to the side and just meet me in a regular tabletop position with both of your wrists directly under your shoulders and on the floor. If you want to add more of a core challenge, if that feels too easy, place that ball under your left hand. So both of your wrists are stacked directly under your shoulders. From here, we're going to come into a fire hydrant. So it's the opposite hand, opposite leg are working. So from here, the ball under your left hand, we're going to lift that right leg and lower, lift it up and lower. So just to show you guys from this angle, I'm in that tabletop. My wrists directly under my shoulders are not out to the side. They're directly under my shoulders. My knees are directly under my hips. I'm pressing actively into that ball. From here, I am lifting that right side and lowering, lifting and lowering. Now, because that ball is a few inches above the ground, this elbow is going to be bent. That's okay. This arm is going to be straight. Don't worry. We're going to do it on the other side. So the arms are not going to be out of balance. Keep it going. You are just drawing that right side up to the side, drawing it back in. Draw it up and back in. One more. All right, from here, you can rest your right knee down. So with that left hand under the ball or flat on the floor, your right hand's directly pressed into that floor. We're going to draw our right knee to our right elbow, and then we're going to kick our right leg up to a donkey kick. Knee to elbow, kick it up. Now my back is my back is staying flat. So as I draw my knee in, I'm not arching my back. As I draw my leg up, I'm not arching as you kick up, rounding as you draw your knee in. My back is completely flat. If you want to see, is my back staying flat or am I rounding? I don't know. Place a block or a pillow onto your back. As you draw your knee in, that object does not move. As you draw your leg up, that object does not move. So that's a good test to see, am I rounding and arching my spine as I draw my knee into my chest and then pressing it up. Keep it going. Give me one more here. All right, once you get there, leave that right heel up. I want you to flex your heels if you're stamping the sole of your foot up on the ceiling, and we just have little presses up, release, press up, release. Tiny presses up here, and then releasing that foot flat on the floor. You can still have that block on your back to challenge your balance. Am I rounding? Am I arching? Most people don't know unless you place your hand there. That's also an option if you don't want to have your hand under that ball. Your opposite hand is on your back with your palm facing out. You'll notice if you're rounding or you're arching, or place that object on your lower back. All right, how are we looking on time? Okay, let's go ahead and bring the ball between our thighs. Come back to our tabletop position. Don't worry, we'll do the opposite side in just a moment. From here, we're going to tuck the toes. Do a little bit of core. This is really a total body. Tuck your toes. Hover your shins so you're in a bear position. We're going to squeeze that ball and then release. So we're squeezing and releasing. Not sure if this is going to be a better angle. All right, you guys can see the ball. All right, my hands again are directly under my shoulders. They're not out to the side. I'm not doing a wide arm push-up. They're directly under my shoulders. Both arms are straight. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips. We're squeezing and releasing. Squeezing and releasing. Now keep your neck looking down between your thumb and index finger. Avoid looking up like I just did or side to side because that way you don't want to strain your neck. Give me 2 more squeezes here. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Gently lower your knees down. You guessed it. Now we have the other side. Grab that ball. Place it under your right hand. Place your left hand directly under your left shoulder on the floor. Right hand on the ball directly under your shoulder. Knees directly under your hips. Untuck your toes. Lift your left leg out to the side and release. Lift and release. Lift and release. Keep it going. So the opposite hand that is pressing into the ball, that opposite foot is lifting. If you want to make sure you're not moving your back, grab that block. So you also want to avoid opening up your hips. So if I open up my hips, that block is going to fall. And then I'm coming back down. Your arms are staying completely still. Your upper body is staying completely still. You're just opening and lowering that left knee directly out from your left hip. Same options here. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. All right, stay in that position with your right hand on the ball or on the floor. Option to keep that block on your back to make sure you're not rounding or arching your spine. We're gonna draw that left knee to our left elbow, and then we're gonna kick it up and back. Draw the left knee in, and then kick it up and back. You can tuck your right toes if you'd like, or you can keep your right toes relaxed with the top shoelace portion of your foot flat on the floor. Personally, I like the top shoelace portion. That way I'm not straining my foot, but total preference here, making sure that you're not rounding your spine as you draw your knee up or arching your spine as you kick your leg back. Your back is a neutral spine. You are using that core, and if it goes too low, it's going to hit your booty and then it's going to move. So drawing that knee up to the same shoulder, same elbow, and then kick it back. All right, from here, on your next one, I want you to hold that left leg up to the ceiling. I want you to flex your foot, keep your hips parallel. So you notice that your left hip is opening, square out that hip. If anyone does yoga with me, you'll notice I always mention square out your hips when we're doing a three-legged dog. That's the motion you want. You don't want to open up that hip. Keep your hips square. Imagine that your hips are headlights and they're guiding you along the way, and they both want to stay down on the floor. So from there, you're pressing your left foot up to the floor, stamping the sole of your left foot up, and releasing, up, and releasing. Just a few more here. We're not coming all the way down, so you're keeping that left leg lifted. You're coming back to starting position, and then you're pressing it up even higher. 2 more. 1 more. All right, release that left leg down. From here, just bump your hips side to side. All right, come to your left or right hip, lowering onto your backside. We're going to plant our feet flat on the floor, knees are bent. Ball between your palms out in front, Frankenstein arms. You can also place that ball between your thighs. Grab onto the backside of your thighs and roll back. That's option 1. Or you can bring that ball between your palms. You can extend your legs if you like. You can also place that block on your lower back as you roll back, giving yourself a little bit more substance to work with. Wherever you're at, we're going to roll back for 10, 9, 8, 7, navel pulled into your core, 1 vertebrae at a time, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, rolling all the way down. Do not rush it. If you're slower than I counted like I was, that's perfect. Once you get there, draw your arms up overhead. Bring your arms back in front. We're going to roll up halfway, slow and controlled for 5, 4, use the upper abs, 6. All right, go ahead and get there. Once you get there, draw that ball between your palms, elbows are wide. If that ball is between your thighs or on your lower back, just bring your palms to touch. From here, we're going to twist side to side. Side to side. This is option 1. With that ball between your palms, maybe the ball between your thighs, allowing you to use those hip flexors and be more aware. You can also place the ball on your lower back if that's bothering you. Keeping your hands at heart center. If you would like, you can lift and extend the legs, bicycle legs with a twist. In that C-sit crunch, give me 10 and 9. That's 8, 7, and 6. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Set that ball off to the side. It was your best friend for all of class. Extend your right leg long. Draw the sole of your left foot into your right leg. Bring your right hand down to the inside of your right thigh. Left arm comes up high overhead. Chin and chest is lifted. Feeling that stretch all along the left side body. On your next exhale, gently rotate Your left arm down, framing your right foot. Maybe bringing the crown of your head towards your toes. Holding and breathing. Flex your right foot to activate your right quad. Gently roll up. Extend your left leg long. Draw the sole of your right foot to the inside of your left leg. Draw your left hand down to the inside of your left leg. Right arm comes up high overhead. Gazing, looking out into that right armpit. Stretching, lengthening that entire right side body. Holding here and breathing. That's it. On your next exhale, gently rotate your right hand down, framing your left foot. To deepen this sensation, you can gently roll your right shoulder down, bending your elbows, maybe bringing your knees towards your nose, heart towards your thigh. To stretch more of that quad, you can flex your left toes up towards the ceiling, or just keep your left toes relaxed. On your next exhale, gently roll up slowly. Bring the soles of your feet together. Butterfly your knees open. And just let them rise and fall. Lifting your shoulders up high. Maybe rolling your neck from side to side. Maybe drawing your chin to your chest. Nape of your neck to your spine. And back again. Alright, from here, sweep your arms up high overhead. Release your left hand down to your right knee, right hand behind you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist, looking over your right shoulder. Inhale, lengthen your arms overhead. Come back to center. Exhale, right hand to your left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, back to center. Forward fold. Knees stay bent. Walk your hands back to your toes. Fantastic work today. Thank you so very much for joining me. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hope your ball of choice or block or pillow was your best friend, just like mine was. Thank you all so very much. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.